When I was a kid, I was very shy, very awkward. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was always on my own. I was like that quiet kid.
Okay.
And for that, I was also bullied a lot. I would usually stay home and I would sketch a lot.
Okay.
So that was my, way of dealing with the loneliness. While I was growing up, it was very difficult for me to shop. So আমার family আমাকে যে কোনো জায়গায় নিয়ে গেলে I didn't want to buy any of those stuff, right? যখন আমি বাইরে যাই, I realized যে আমাদের দেশে আসলে কিছুই পাওয়া যায় না.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't. I actually have no personal life.
So he's single.
No.
Hi guys, I'm back again with Coffee with Chamak, bringing you a lot more Chamak. Today it's with really great excitement that I'm going to introduce my guest for Coffee with Chamak. He's the man behind the brand Zurhem, and they have literally brought sexy back to menswear in Bangladesh. So let's begin the show. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi Lisa, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, like I was saying, actually, how long has it been that you've established Zurhem?
So I think this September we will be turning two.
Two years.
So we launched Zurhem back in 2015.
15. Okay.
Yes, but to be honest, I mean, with the store and the opening, it has been a little over a year. So
over a year.
Yes, but this September we'll be turning two.
So you're pretty new, though.
We are very new.
But you're quite a big hit.
Yes, mashallah.
Mashallah.
In these 2 years, we have got a lot of love and support. From everyone. And let's hope we keep going the way we are going now.
Absolutely. Okay, so before we talk a little more details about work, tell me a little about yourself, as in, how were you, about your family background, how many brothers and sisters, what were you like as a kid? Did you always dream to be like a fashion designer?
Yeah, I mean, I have a very different story.
Okay.
I came from a very humble middle class background.
Okay.
I grew up, with two sisters.
Achha.
And when I was younger, when I was a kid, I was very shy,
Achha.
very awkward.
Okay.
And I didn't have a lot of friends.
Okay.
I was also the only son. I was also pampered. I was very protected and everything. So I didn't have any friends. I was always on my own. I was like that quiet kid.
Okay.
And for that, I was also bullied a lot.
Yeah.
So I would usually stay home and I would sketch a lot.
Okay.
So that was my, way of dealing with the loneliness.
Acha.
And so that's pretty much my childhood. Until, I was sent off to Australia by my parents to do my undergrad.
Achha.
And, with time I kind of overcame,
your shyness.
The shyness and everything. And now I'm better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you seem to be doing a lot more better than just better.
Of course. And about wanting to become a fashion designer, আসলে সবসময় এই ইচ্ছাটা ছিল না। অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি আসলে আমাদের ফ্যামিলিটা নিয়ে বলি। আমাদের ফ্যামিলিটা হলো একদম standard Bangladeshi family.
Acha.
Where everyone is a doctor or an engineer or a teacher.
Acha.
And at maximum a business person.
Acha.
So there's no artist, there's nobody who's in the fashion business or whatever.
So you're just the odd one out.
I am the odd one out. So for the longest time, I thought, I didn't even realize this could be a profession.
Yeah.
I thought okay, I'm very creative, but I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But when I went to Australia to study business, I was doing very well with my studies and everything, but I kind of knew that this is not what I want to do.
It won't be enough.
It won't be enough. I want to do something creative. I want to get into fashion. But also by then it was also pretty late because I was just a couple of semesters away from
Okay.
graduation.
Acha.
So I told my parents it was more like it was very much like coming out
Yeah.
to your parents about what you want to become.
What? Fashion designer?
And I think the main struggle was sort of convincing myself that I can become a fashion designer,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So once I overcame that, I sat my mom down and I told her, listen, আমি fashion নিয়ে পড়তে চাই, আমি একটা fashion designer হতে চাই, and stuff like that. And it was actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
She was immediately very supportive.
Okay.
She said, now that you have graduated in business,
Yeah.
তুমি এখন যা ইচ্ছা করতে পারো.
Yeah.
But just be sure what you are getting into because
Yeah.
this is an industry we don't know much about as a
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
So you don't have like that support or
Yeah.
guidance from, say, a attu,
Yeah.
a manush, ba kichu. So
Exactly.
you have to kind of, explore this whole arena by yourself.
Yourself, you're
Yeah, which I
exactly.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty gutsy actually, because I can understand you're coming from a different mold and then you entering into something absolutely new.
Yeah.
It must have been. Was it nervous? Were you like scared and?
I was initially I was,
Yeah.
but then I was so frustrated with my life.
Yeah.
Because I graduated with 3 majors in business.
Wow.
I was like, one of the top students in my class.
Yeah.
And even though I was doing so well and everything, I didn't have my heart in any of these things.
Yeah.
So
You weren't feeling that gratification that you should be feeling.
yeah, yeah. I graduated and then for 2 years I did nothing.
Acha.
I was like, কি করব আমি?
হ্যাঁ।
ব্যাংকে কাজ করব নাকি কোনো কর্পোরেট কোম্পানিতে কাজ করব? there's really nothing I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was so frustrated that when I kind of convinced myself, listen, it's okay to get into fashion. You can start your own company. You can kind
Yeah.
of do it because there's nobody else who's kind of doing it
Yeah. Yeah.
in Dhaka.
And not in Dhaka.
Yeah, so I thought, why not? Let's
Yeah.
give it a shot.
Yeah.
Let's kind of get into it. Let's really commit to it.
Yeah.
And let's see how people take it.
So, like, where did you go for your?
So I did my fashion course partly here
Yeah.
in Raffles.
Acha, acha.
But over here, it was more like a portfolio building because I didn't have any of the basic requirements
yeah.
because I didn't know how to sew.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to. I didn't go to art school ever
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
I নিজে বসে sketch করতাম
Acha, acha,
ছোটবেলায়.
acha.
So I didn't know how to draw. I didn't know how to sew. I didn't know how to make patterns and
Yeah.
all the technical bit.
The essentials, actually, but
It is. So with that 1 year, I got into the school here.
Yeah.
And just that 1 year, I focused on learning the basic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, from draping to pattern making to
Yeah.
all that, all the
Yeah.
technical bit.
in 1 year.
In 1 year.
Wow.
And then my portfolio was very strong in
Okay.
1 year.
Yeah.
And then I started applying to the top schools
Yeah.
all over the world.
Okay.
And among them, there were Parsons in New York.
wow.
And then one is, London College of Fashion and CSM and all these.
Yeah.
So I got into Parsons and London College of Fashion. And
Okay.
I decided, you know what, I'll just go to London.
Yeah.
And I'll just study there.
Yeah.
So I did, which was very much of a nightmare for me because everyone, I got only 1 year of
Yeah,
that training,
Of that training, of
which
that
was very
experience.
intense,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was just 1 year.
It was just 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, but most of the other kids in that school,
They've probably been in that line for a long time or studying that
হ্যাঁ
line.
হ্যাঁ
for a
তো
long time.
ওদের যেরকম ওরা ও লেভেলস থেকেই আর্টস নেয়
হ্যাঁ।
বা ওরা ছোটবেলার থেকেই সোয়িং
Yeah.
শিখে আসছে ফর দেম ইটস লাইক নাথিং
Yeah.
So adjusting to that level was like a nightmare for me. But once I got there, I kind of found my own voice, and I did well.
So how long were you there in London?
I was there for 1.5 years.
Okay.
So yes. So then at a point I came back to Dhaka,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I didn't really spend any time, wasting
Yeah.
or thinking about যে কিভাবে
নাকি
করব
করবো না
না
এটা,
করব
হ্যাঁ।
I came back and I called a couple of my friends and some of my lawyer friends, and I told them, listen, I want to set up a company,
Yeah.
and I want to start a fashion label, um, and help me out.
Yeah.
So among those friends, one of my friend, he decided to become a partner because
Acha.
I don't understand business so much, even though I studied it. So Obolo, okay, I'll look after the business side, you look after
Yeah.
the artistic side,
Yeah.
and we can be a good team.
So that's how it took off.
Yeah, that's how it took off in a small office in Uttara
Acha.
initially,
Acha.
with only 3 employees.
Acha. 3
And
only.
yeah, and in just 1 year, from 3 to now we have near about 60
Wow.
employees. So
That's like, wow, that's amazing. Exponential growth, actually.
it was so it was so quick.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like we started the company just yesterday, to be very honest. But এখন যখন we look at the growth and we look around, we have so many people, and even though 50-60 people is still not a lot
Yeah, but
compared
it's
to all the
still
big
not,
companies.
It's still quite.
Yeah, for a company which is just a year and a half old,
Yeah.
less than 2 years old,
Yeah.
it's okay, I
Yeah, but it's more than okay, I think.
think. Yeah.
Especially because you're more specialized in menswear.
Yeah.
So that's like it's like, for instance, a brand like Arong, or they have like men's, children, and so that's like, but for just menswear, 60 employees is not bad. It's actually pretty good. So
Yeah, see, most of the brands that
Yeah.
we have in Bangladesh,
Yeah.
first of all, they're very mass oriented.
Yeah.
They,
Commercial.
it's easier to make money, it's easier to
Yeah.
sell, and they all want to, kind of cater to the mass, which is not
Yeah.
a bad thing. I think it's great.
Yeah.
In order to be a mass market brand, you have to have that kind of supply. You have to have that kind of,
Yeah.
knowledge and
Yeah.
idea, like how to, sell it to the mass.
Yeah.
Right. And also the other thing is, most of the brands here cater to women.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, because
Yeah.
you wanted to start your menswear. Was that from like day one that you wanted to
Yeah.
specialize? Okay.
I think when I was like only 8 years old, তখন থেকে আমি sketch যখন করতাম, so if I go back to one of my sketchbooks
Yeah.
of that time,
Yeah.
so it was like full of all these clothing.
Yeah.
Sketches of the clothing,
Yeah.
which are all menswear.
So you actually decided to take the more difficult route, which
Yeah.
is because in Bangladesh the fashion industry it's predominantly female fashion, right? And menswear, specializing in menswear, there is other than artistry, I think, or maybe
There are a few more.
a few more.
Yeah, of course, this is a way more difficult market.
Yeah, because I do
Yeah.
believe that like the men's fashion segment, that part of the industry is very neglected in the sense.
Yeah.
You're right, because if I want to buy something, I could just like decide to go to some shopping mall or some boutique or something. But for men, they either have to like go to people they've gone forever, like go to a tailor or something, or maybe one of these 1 or 2 stores.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you decided to take the
Yeah, absolutely. I think the reason why I decided to go this way is mainly because I am a man.
Yeah.
So while I was growing up, it was very difficult for me to shop.
Okay.
Here in Dhaka.
Yeah.
So আমি যখন ঢাকায় বড় হই, তখন থেকেও আমার শপিং করার কোনো ভালো জায়গা ছিল না।
Yeah,
তো আমার
true.
ফ্যামিলি আমাকে যে কোনো জায়গায় নিয়ে গেলে, I didn't want to buy any of those
Yeah,
stuff,
sure.
right? And then যখন আমি বাইরে যাই, I realized যে আমাদের দেশে আসলে কিছুই পাওয়া যায় না
কিছুই না।
ছেলেদের জন্য।
Absolutely.
আমি আমার পার্সোনাল এক্সপিরিয়েন্স
Yeah.
থেকে বলছি আর কি,
Yeah.
যে আমি যেগুলি জিনিস পড়তে চাই
Yeah.
এইখানে,
হ্যাঁ।
ওগুলি কিছুই নাই।
আচ্ছা, হ্যাঁ।
সো অ্যান্ড অলসো আমাদের এখানে অফারিংস এত বেসিক,
Yeah. Absolutely.
সব কিছুই খুবই
Standardized almost.
Exactly.
Like one that looks like.
because the people who are selling them, they know that these stuffs will easily sell.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't blame the men here, because what can they do?
Yeah.
ওরা কি কিনবে?
Yeah.
এত কিছু নাই।
Yeah, exactly.
So I think my আমার যে ইচ্ছাটা যে আমি একটা মেন্সওয়্যার লেবেল খুলবো এখান থেকে এসেছে যে ওকে I want to create a brand or a
Yeah.
place where people like me
Yeah.
can come and sip from a cup of coffee and then buy whatever they want to.
Order whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think also because they, men themselves have evolved a lot in the last couple of years in terms of their
Yeah.
fashion. They're much more fashion conscious. They're much more like aside from even like the completely like metrosexual type males who are like absolutely but for instance like people like my husband or even my father-in-law, they're traditional, but they like to have a little bit of edge in their clothing.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I've noticed because they can't shop here either for that stuff,
Yeah.
other than Punjabis and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I believe like you've come at a really good time because there is that demand there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so these the menswear that you're doing right now, it's you've diversed into Punjabis this
Yeah, so basically, so Zurhem is our main label.
Yeah.
It's our main line.
Acha.
So with Zurhem, we have, formal wear. We have some casual wear
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
But it's more on the formal side.
formal side.
Yeah. And then under Zurhem, there's another line. It's called Maharajan. So Maharajan is the ethnic wear line.
Acha.
Again, also very luxurious,
Yeah.
very, sophisticated
Yeah.
and, very well-made
Yeah.
stuff. But this line is specifically ethnic wear.
Acha.
And
Maharajan.
what we are planning to do right now,
Yeah.
since Maharajan on its own does so well,
Yeah.
we want to separate Maharajan from Zurhem
Acha.
entirely.
Okay.
I mean, they'll still be both
Yeah.
designer labels, but
Yeah.
they'll just be separate.
Yeah, because it's two different sort of clothing,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
Yeah.
So you've also diversified into women's clothing as well.
We did. This was something, we ever since we have started,
Yeah.
a lot of our male clients would bring their wives
Yeah.
or sisters, girlfriends, whatever.
Yeah.
So all these ladies would be like, oh, this is such a lovely place to shop
Yeah.
in, and your craftsmanship is great, and your tailoring is perfect. Why don't you make me this?
Yeah.
So Amander, even before launching our women's wear, we already have like a huge amount of women's wear clients,
Yeah.
right?
Who
So-
probably order their stuff from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mainly custom wear.
Acha, acha,
So
acha.
basically they would come for a gown
Yeah,
or they would come for a suit or even something basic.
pair of pants
A
or
pair
even
of pants,
yeah.
shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
So I realized, okay, even though women's wear market here is very saturated,
Yeah, it
but
is.
amader junne tao
There's a demand,
space.
yeah.
I wouldn't say amader women's wear is our identity.
Yeah. Your identity is of course.
Agdomina.
yeah.
Of course, I love doing women's wear. But I think our identity is menswear.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, like I said, it's kind of, I was telling my husband, like, I'm telling you, these guys just brought sexy back. Because to menswear, it's like, you're used to a certain, standardized, like,
Yeah.
one looks just almost like the other and everything. And then I was showing him those pictures, and he's like, wow, these are so nice. I mean, they're like,
Yeah, thank
each
you.
piece is like a statement in itself.
Yeah, thank
So,
you.
and
you.
I saw the pictures from your fashion show, and
Right.
that's when I became your fan, because honestly
Thank
speaking,
you.
I myself have been modeling for a while.
Yeah.
And you literally did a fashion show that looks like what a fashion show looks like
Exactly.
should, right? Because in
Exactly.
Bangladesh
Thank
the stages are elevated, and the idea of where the audience can look at a piece of clothing on a female
Yeah.
model or a male model right here, and
Yeah.
they don't get that feel normally.
Agdomna. And Lisa, to be honest, I mean, this fashion show the agenda was that.
Yeah.
Because I have been to a couple of fashion shows
Yeah.
here, Dhaka, and I realized, oh my God, what are these people doing? I mean, it is not a performance. It is not.
It's not supposed to be entertaining.
Exactly. I mean, it is more about you know, the models are
Yeah.
coming on stage, they're dancing,
Yeah,
and
the pretty
you know,
girls prancing around.
there's a singer singing right before the
Yeah.
fashion show. I mean, what is this?
Yeah.
So when we decided, যে, okay, we'll do a fashion show, আমি তখনই decide করলাম যে, you know what, we'll not take any sponsors.
Okay.
We'll do it with our own money.
Yeah.
It will cost us, you know, a bomb.
Yeah.
But we'll just do it ourselves
Yeah.
because I want to do it in a specific way.
Wait, you don't
Yeah.
want somebody to dictate like.
Yeah, I don't want somebody to be like, oh, you know, celebrity queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or singer queen.
Yeah.
But show at a com সময়. So I said, you know what, I will start exactly at 7:30. I'll finish it exactly in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And for the first time ever, I will have like a runway which is going to be three times the average size.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Because I decided not to go that way. I
Yeah.
decided to, you know,
Do it on your own and like you.
Yeah.
You set your own terms, right?
Exactly. And I had fun.
Yeah.
Because
It
you know,
looked like fun.
32 models.
Yeah.
It was a huge show. Very selective guest. So I had a blast.
Tell me something. What do you think of our male models?
Our male models are great.
Don't you think so? Because
একদম।
আমার কাছে লাইক অনেক প্রথম থেকে মনে হয়েছে যে আমাদের ছেলে মডেলগুলো কিন্তু মাশাআল্লাহ দে রিয়েলি আর অন অ্যাভারেজ each of them are on international standards.
একদম। I have worked more with male models,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Not that, not just their ওরা তো professional আছেই,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But they also take care of themselves.
They take care of themselves, yeah.
They're like all fit.
Yeah.
They're all good looking.
Yeah.
They know how to carry themselves, and I mean, they could go international anytime. I don't
Yeah.
know why some of them are not international yet.
Yeah, I know. They really do deserve that international platform
একদম,
actually.
একদম।
So how is your experience it's been in the fashion industry with like okay some of the models and like did you ever have those kind of incidents where আচ্ছা 5 সময় টাইমিং দিছো and আসছে হচ্ছে 10 মানে you know
Initially I did.
yeah
But now, as you know, it has been 2 years already,
Yeah.
and I have done আমি অনেক ক্যাম্পেইনই করেছি।
Yeah.
So I guess এখন people know I'm very punctual.
yeah
And out of respect maybe, or out
Yeah.
of fear, I hope it's not out of fear, out of respect, they also come on time.
yeah
There are still some models who are a little diva-ish. They will, I know ওদেরকে 9টায় কল টাইম দিলে ওরা 12টার আগে আসবে না। But ওগুলি আমি কনসিডার করি না।
হ্যাঁ
But you know, এইগুলি কিছু জিনিস you have to kind of you have to get used to them. Not just the model, the photographers
Yeah.
even sometimes they can also be very late
yeah
or unprofessional.
unprofessional as well yeah
So my experience here has been pretty bittersweet.
yeah
You know, there are a lot of things I really like.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, a lot of these models are very professional and you know, everyone's so accepting and
Yeah.
so welcoming.
yeah
And also a little bitter because, you know, I wish বাইরের মতন ওই professional
yeah
থাকতো।
না ওটা এখনো হয় নাই
হ্যাঁ, but I think we'll get there.
I think we'll get there because I
Yeah.
think the fashion industry itself is evolving really fast.
Absolutely.
So, you know, when we started, it was like once or twice in 6 months we had a show. So now it's like almost every month. So I'm hoping that the industry would, you know, evolve with
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
pace.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me a little about your personal life. Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't. I actually have no personal life.
So he's single.
No, I think my only love life is my work life.
Yeah.
I work all the time.
Yeah.
And also I have a very systematic life. I
Yeah.
wake up, I go to the gym, I finish my workout, I go to work, and I'm working until 8 or 9.
Acha.
I come back home.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I get some sleep. Sometimes I go out
Acha, acha.
to meet my friends and everything.
Yeah.
But I actually don't have that much time to, you know,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
For a
maybe
girlfriend.
later, maybe যখন আরেকটু stable হবে।
So, about the fashion industry again, like, did you have a lot of issues? Like, were there a lot of rivalry or jealousy or like politics?
To be honest, this is something I get asked a lot of times,
Yeah,
right? My thing is, আমি যখন শুরু করব লেবেলটা এর আগের থেকে আমি ডিসাইড করি যে ইউ নো হোয়াট আই ডোন্ট ওয়ান্ট টু বি আ পার্ট অফ দিস you know
Rat race.
I don't want to get into politics. I don't
Yeah.
because I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still pretty shy and introverted deep down.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a very private person, and I don't want drama in my life. So I never faced that. And also about rivalry, jealousy. I really don't know because I am like one of those race horses, with
You
those.
just tunnel vision.
Yeah. I'm just doing what I want to do. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get where I want to be. And আশেপাশে কি হচ্ছে বা কে কি বলছে আমি আসলে এত খেয়াল করি
Well,
না।
you're a rare breed because in the fashion industry, everybody's absolutely the opposite. It's like,
Yeah. And to be very honest, I have this very strange rule. Even though I work with so many people, and অনেকের সাথে আমার close একটা relationship-ও হয় because you work with them
Yeah.
over and over again.
Yeah.
They're more like friends.
Yeah.
But there's pretty much no exception. I don't add anyone on my Facebook or any of my social media platforms
Acha.
or I don't go to any of the fashion related parties or
Acha.
any events or whatever. I'm just like
Keep it separate.
yeah, and I really enjoy that because I'll tell you why it's good. You don't know negative criticism, even though they are important.
Yeah.
Sometimes you also need to know what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And then there are a lot of these positive criticism, which could also hamper you because বেশি যদি শুনতে থাকি oh you're the best, you're doing so well,
Your
I
ego
love
will
your
just
work.
go,
And then you will get comfortable and you will stop trying hard.
Yeah.
So আমার কথা হলো আমি কিছুই শুনতে চাই না I will just keep on challenging myself. I will just try and do better every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the international fashion scene, right? Who's your favorite fashion designer?
Designer.
Yeah, for women's wear.
It is very difficult to answer because I follow a lot of designers, their work. I think currently I really like Alessandro Michele, the creative director of Gucci.
Yeah.
Right now, I know he's crazy. I
He's
know
a bit crazy.
his work is
A bit out there.
Yeah, but then again, I like that craziness.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I like Tom Ford. He's always my favorite.
That's quite interesting because one is Tom Ford, which is also very not crazy like, which is he's very
very classy,
very classic and everything. And then there's Alexander, like it's like
both extreme.
Yeah, both.
So as I said, like I follow pretty much everyone's work.
Yeah.
I even like people like Ross Siemens or Rick Owens, that grungy vibe even. মানে সবই আমি দেখি. So I like all kind of fashion. I'm not too,
limited.
I'm not too limited. I like to see all kind of work. I like to also try different kind of genres sometimes.
Yeah. So what about the local markets? Like, is there any designers that you think they're doing pretty good, or admire? You can say like none. It's all right. Nobody's gonna.
I actually don't follow anybody's work, so it would be very unfair of me to say something good or something bad about anybody. Actually.
Yeah, but I understand.
Yeah.
And but like I said, as long as you're focused on your work and you're delivering, that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what people like. You just keep yourself away from the riffraff in a way.
Yeah, I don't want to say the word riffraff to be very honest. Not just riffraff. I mean, as I said, like I'm a very private person. I'm not very selective. It's just that আমার সবার সাথে হয় না.
Yeah, I got it.
It's very rare for me to find friends.
But you know what? It's working for you because I've a lot of designers they've talked really well. They've spoken really well about you. And
I'm so glad. I'm so happy they have.
Yeah.
Because as I said, like আমি ওনাদের সাথে আমি আসলে এত hang out করি না বা আমি ওনাদের সাথে but if I ever see them I'll say hi to them. If I bump into them at a party or at an wedding or whatever, যদিও আমি fashion related event যাই না তখন আমি কথা বলি I'm very nice and respectful. So
Yeah, of course, because
I hope. Yeah.
So, what are your future plans for?
With Zurhem, basically, we want to keep doing what we are doing right now. We want to, I mean, even though we have done, pretty well
Yeah.
in the last 2 years, but I want to make Zurhem even more established,
Yeah.
especially in this region, Bangladeshe হোক, and then eventually যদি আমরা কোথাও বাইরে যাই, especially in South Asia,
Yeah.
I really want to have Zurhem in other countries as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But before going to say সবারই ইচ্ছা করে লন্ডন প্যারিস নিউ ইয়র্কে যে
Yeah.
স্টোর খুলতে,
Yeah.
but I think it's important for us to establish our brand at home.
Yeah, at home. That's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
And then you slowly branch out to the
Yeah,
neighboring
yeah,
countries
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, that makes
Right.
sense. What about women's wear? Do you want to get, for instance, Jerkum, there's Zurhem and then there's Maharajan, right? Do you want? Are you planning to bring out another label for
For
Rani or Maharani?
No, this is another thing. I don't understand women's ethnic wear fashion.
Acha,
I mean,
acha.
I admire them. I love to see someone in a sari,
Yeah.
and if it's a pretty sari, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
But আমার মাথায় এসব আসে না যে
আচ্ছা।
শাড়ি ডিজাইন।
And Western wear?
Western wear, yes.
Yeah.
So Western wear, I am already doing.
Yeah.
So with the women's wear, I want to keep it very limited.
Yeah.
But I want to focus more on the, custom
Yeah.
clothing.
Tailoring
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
custom tailoring. So
Yeah.
it's based on what you want.
Yeah.
So I want to be that with women's wear so far. And then maybe couple of years down the line, if we see, okay, ready to wear kola jai made it,
Yeah.
we could do that.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
I'm there.
for sure. Thank
So,
you.
for like a Bangladeshi male who has a very, very decent sense of style and fashion and everything, and what would you tell another Bengali male who wants to be fashionable, but it's like, or wants to probably look like you, but like maybe doesn't know exactly how to, because that's not uncommon in Bangladesh, because men, they would probably want to be like fashionable, but they actually
They don't know where to start.
হ্যাঁ মানে তাদেরকে টুলস গুলো তো দেওয়া হয় না, বিকজ আমাদের যেরকম কসমোপলিটন আছে, ভোগ আছে, whatever, but
Right. ছেলেদের জন্য ওরকম কিছু নাই. I'll share a very small story here.
Yeah.
I was not fashionable all my life.
আচ্ছা
Or I was not into fashion all my life. I mean, the very early stage of my life, যখন আমি খুব ছোট ছিলাম, ওই সময় I was like, I used to wear like all my sister's clothes. Because I was the third child.
আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ
And as I said, I came from a very humble middle class background. So my mom would automatically dump all my sister's clothes on me. Like, তোমার বোনের সোয়েটার কেউ বুঝবে না. So I was not fashionable at all. So I didn't know where to start.
yeah
But I guess for any man who wants to become fashionable or
Yeah.
whatever, I think you have to be comfortable first.
yeah
You have to wear something that's you,
Yeah.
that goes with you, that goes with your life, and all that.
Yeah.
সব কিছু চিন্তা করে যদি you wanna wear something, go for it.
yeah
But just because একটা ট্রেন্ড এখন চলছে,
Yeah.
ওইটাই আমাদের সবার পড়তে হবে,
হ্যাঁ
not
exactly
necessarily.
not necessarily
There are certain things যেটা আমাদের কে স্যুট করে না।
হ্যাঁ exactly
So ওটা যে পড়তেই হবে just because it's a fashion trend in
Yeah.
London,
yeah
for example.
yeah
এরকম হওয়া উচিত না।
yeah that's what I think for females as well, because
Yeah.
if you're not comfortable in what you're wearing, then
Yeah.
it shows, and it actually
Exactly.
does injustice to the clothes, even when you're not looking comfortable in it, right?
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, it shows very well.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
So I think comfort, definitely, and then start with the basics.
Yeah.
Start with like a very basic stuff, a basic black suit,
Yeah.
a basic white shirt.
Yeah.
Like, don't take too many risks initially.
Like when we talk about women's wardrobe, right? It's like you should have like a black dress and then like
A little
a
black
white
dress.
shirt and then a pair of jeans or a sweater. Like for men, what would you think that list would be? Like a white shirt, a black suit.
I would say, yes, a
Yeah.
white shirt, a black suit, Definitely leather biker jacket. I
Yes,
think every man
absolutely.
should own it. I
Yeah.
don't know why a lot of them don't.
It's really sexy.
Yeah, it is.
Trust me.
It is one of the
Yeah.
staple pieces, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then a blazer
Yeah.
that could be, something light, something
Yeah.
in a lighter color.
Yep.
And then a few basic plain t-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
a dark denim,
Yeah.
and what else? Irukumi.
I hope you guys are writing it down.
Yeah. And some accessories like
Yeah,
shoes
yeah.
and pocket squares
Yeah.
and sunglasses and
Yeah.
everything. So minimal is the way to go, I think.
Yeah. So, great. Well, you know what? It was really lovely having you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
And
us here.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Please bring more sexy back to menswear. It's. I hope you guys expand even more. Even though you guys are doing already, you're doing pretty well. And I do really hope that you guys start going into female lines like properly.
Yes, absolutely. Inshallah. Thank you so much. And, we are constantly pushing ourselves.
Yeah.
We are also going to have another fashion show on September.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's so I hope there will be a lot of surprises for even you,
Yes.
along with
I'm
our
sure.
male clients.
Yes.
So yes.
And do you have any message that you would like to say? Because coming from like a very middle class background with not any sort of like fashion, sort of personality in your family,
Yeah.
and who's decided to take a big risk
Yeah. Yeah.
and decided to go a very different path, and and you're doing mashallah very well.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a very gutsy move. So do you
Yeah.
have like anything that you would like to share with those who are not very happy in their jobs, but because they want something else, and
Yeah.
but they're still stuck there? Is there
Yeah.
anything a message that you want to say?
Absolutely. I think someone who is stuck and wants to do something else, stuck in the wrong job, as
Yeah.
I'm saying. I think you should just do it.
Yeah.
You should just quit. You should just jump into it.
Yeah,
Take all the risk, because otherwise you will never know.
yeah,
And also, our lives are so short. There's no point of being stuck in the wrong job,
Yeah.
or something that the society is telling you or your parents are telling you.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's a very dumb mistake you'll be making, because a few years down the line, when you're older, you
Yeah.
will be like, oh, I wish I did that.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I became a fashion designer. I wish I became a hairstylist
Yeah.
or graphic designer, whatever.
Yeah.
So just go for it.
Yeah, because the idea is always I want to be a doctor, lawyer, not to be. It's never to be I want to be a creative person, whether
Yeah.
it's a designer or a graphic designer.
Right.
So thank you for your inspirational
No,
tale.
thank you for having me here, and thank you for letting me share my story.
That's great. It was fun having you.
Yeah, thank you.